Welcome back to Ration Nerd, everybody. Today we are going to be getting into something pretty cool that I just recently picked up. This is a French emergency pilot ration. This thing comes in at about 285 grams, and in the real world over here in America, that means it's pretty light. Definitely would fit inside of a cargo pocket, which is pretty excellent, and this thing has slightly over 1,100 calories contained in it, which for something you can fit in your pocket, that's pretty amazing. So we're going to dig into it, see what's inside of this, and the scope and purpose of this thing is pretty self-explanatory. It is an emergency ration for a downed pilot. So I was communicating with a really cool person over in France to get this shipped over to me. This is another one of those items I have not seen another reviewer do. And they were nice enough to get this thing packed up and made it past customs, which is pretty cool. And what you'll see with a lot of military rations that come from foreign countries, there's certain things on here that are blocked out or covered over with magic marker. Something about military rations, when they resell them on the civilian market, they scratch out some information for what I don't know. But this thing is still in date. It does not expire until the 28th of Fever of 2024. So whenever Fever is or was, looks like we're inside of it. So let's break into this thing and see what the contents are. One thing I did notice is that there's some discoloration on the back of the package here that I just think occurred in shipping, but there's an energy gel in here that kind of freaks me out. I'm hoping that that did not break apart or start leaking inside of the package. That would stink. And the other cool thing that they happen to note on the exterior of the bag is that you can use this bag to drink out of. It is pretty thick. Not as thick as a USMRE bag, but a slightly different material, maybe a little bit more rigid. Definitely a cool little bag though. So let's crack into this thing and see what we got. That was a nice little tear there. All right, well, wait. There's definitely a light fruity aroma coming out of the bag. Not unpleasant. Doesn't smell like anything has gone bad. We have here, this is unlabeled. Ah, it's a banana bar. That's what that smell was. A banana energy bar. Check that guy out. What is it? Who knows? Either I'm completely blind or the writing on this bar has disappeared, which either one of those could be the case. All right, that looks to be another one of these energy bars, so we got another one of those guys. Oh, there's our energy. So this looks like an energy gel. And for the life of me, I couldn't tell you what that fruit is, but we're going to get into it. We'll figure it out. Looks like it could be apricots. That could be pretty amazing. Oddly enough, this guy has a little gusset. Okay. Not so much. All right, a caffeine cereal bar. These are found in your French RCIR 24-hour and sometime even the single meals or 12-hour rations. That's pretty cool. Oh, we have a drink mix. Please don't be mint. This is mango. That's awesome. Sometimes they like to mix mint and fruit together, which I'm not a big fan of. So we do have an isotonic sports drink in there, which is great. Ooh, oh. Looks like we have another one of those cereal, caffeine cereal bars. And last in the bag is an emergency biscuit, which that's certainly pretty cool. It's just a smaller version of like your survival bars or your SOS abandoned ship bars. that's pretty cool. So, and again, you can use this bag to drink out of. The only thing I would have thought would have been here is maybe some water purification tablets, but I certainly don't see any. So let's get this out onto a tray and see what your emergency meal will be looking like, or series of emergency meals. So here is everything laid out onto a tray. So I guess we should start by making that drink mix. And this drink mix will make 500 milliliters. You know, these are really neat items. I would really like to have something like this stored in my vehicle for an emergency. I know around here, last year, there was a time when some people got stranded on Route 95 with nowhere to go. It was a freak snowstorm, so people got stranded. A lot of those people didn't have anything with them to eat, and that's a real bummer, being stuck in your car for hours, hungry, etc. At least this might not keep you warm, but it certainly would put some calories in you, which is always very helpful to try and stay warm. So obviously, with the scope and purpose of this ration, it's not going to have a spoon in it, so we're going to bring in a friend to help us stir up this isotonic beverage. And to be honest, that isotonic beverage is kind of stinking it up a little bit. It has a kind of a bitter odor, and it's pretty pungent. So it's kind of smelling like butt just a little bit, but we're going to give it a day in court anyway. Smell be damned. Hopefully it hasn't gone sour or anything, or gotten any moisture in it, though I highly doubt it, considering that bag it was sealed in. So we are going to get a taste of this, what said was mango. It looks more like mango tea. This certainly has a B vitamin smell to it, so I am believing that this is enriched with a lot of vitamins, which if you were a downed pilot or just simply stuck in a survival situation, could be really handy to have those extra vitamins. I'd prefer you just put a vitamin in a pack inside of the ration, so that way it's not stinking up your drink or making your drink taste sour with vitamin flavor. But we'll give it a shot. You know, it does have a little bit of that hint of vitamin B flavor to it, but it's very sweet. Not in a bad way. The sweetness hides the vitamins very well, but that is like a mango tea. So this drink is very sweet, and that helps to hide the vitamin taste inside of it. There is a brand of tea in the United States called Brisk, and they had a lot of flavored tea, and that's what this reminds me of. Not a huge fan of the Brisk teas, even the peach and all the other flavors that they had, but as far as an item in a ration that's vitamin fortified, I could drink that and not be unhappy about it. I'm not even unhappy about it right now. It's not too bad. So let's get into some of these bars and see what's on offer. That looks pretty good, sort of. That just has a nice sweet cereal flavor to it. I'm liking that. I think this is our banana bar. It looks like it's identical. And that has the same sweet flavor, so it's very likely that these are both banana flavored bars. We'll get a bite of those in a minute. So let's check out our caffeine cereal bar. That looks just like what you would expect in a French ration. If you've ever had an RCIR, these guys are in there. Let's get a smell of that. And that smells like coffee, which makes me just a little happy. See if we can show you some texture on that guy. Slightly sticky, not overly so, which is good. We're gonna just move this other one off to the side because I don't need to get horribly caffeinated right now, although Well, maybe I do. We're going to save him for later anyway. And then let's get into this Survivor bar. I do like how these are double wrapped. A lot of these, if you've ever had one of the ration bars that comes in like the SOS, or there's lots of different brands of them. You know, so there's 2 bars in here, and they potentially are individually wrapped inside, but it's great that they put these in their own vacuum sealed package. That'll ensure that they stay fresh. These things generally have a 5 to 7 year shelf life anyhow, but it is nice that you get 2 and they're individually wrapped outside of the exterior bag. It just means they'll stay fresh a lot longer, which is definitely a good thing. Tear notch is kind of in a weird spot, this little V up here. We'll give it a go anyway. All right, that looks like, that kind of looks like a sanding stone that you would use to like grind the calluses off of your feet. That is not in any way, shape, or form appetizing looking. You can see some grains possibly in there, just a little bit of a chunky texture. That's kind of spooky, to be fair. So let's open just one. We're just going to go with one for now. This literally looks like a big piece of chalk. I'm hoping it tastes better than it looks. Oh, all right. All right, I guess I'm going to get a bite of this first, because I'm really kind of worried about what this is going to taste like, because it's very, very chalky. It's almost like holding a compressed block of sand from the beach, which is kind of weird. See if I can give you guys a close-up of the texture of this guy. All right, so I'm gonna do it. It's just falling apart. I'm gonna go in for a bite. Let's get a bite of this guy. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Oh, wow. Ooh, am I glad I only decided to review one of those guys. This is very dry, very chalky. It's not an unpleasant flavor. However, the texture leaves a lot to be desired. So I can say if I was starving, and I mean literally starving, I would eat it. The flavor is not so bad. The flavor of that is just more like a mildly sweet cereal flavor. And when I say cereal, I mean if you were to take every grain that's in a bowl of hot cereal or cold cereal, sweeten them mildly, and that's what your base flavor is. As soon as this hits your mouth, it instantaneously dries you out. It takes every bit of saliva you have to get this thing chewed up. And then as you're chewing it, your saliva starts to make it moist. I have a feeling this would make kind of a good porridge. As a matter of fact, we're going to do that here in a second. We're going to take half of this guy if we can get it to break in any reasonable fashion. Okay. We're going to bring in a cup over here. So if you could make this into a porridge inside of the bag, which would certainly dirty up your drinking vessel, but we're going to try just to add some water to it. Not too much. see if we can get this to dissolve as some kind of porridge. Okay, moving on. We're going to let that sit and soak for a minute to see if we can get that to rehydrate somewhat. It certainly looks like it wants nothing to do with rehydrating. We have just a little bit more water to give it a chance. So we'll set that off to the side and we'll see if we can't get that to break down a little bit into a porridge. With other emergency bars, you're able to do that. I'm not 100% sure about this one, so we'll find out. You can see the texture of this stuff on the spoon is very gritty, and that's kind of how it feels in your mouth. We're still going to give that a chance. I'll take another bite of this just for humor's sake, because just wow, this thing is very dry, very dense. Calorie dense, I'll certainly give it that. It's calorie dense, and it's not completely unpleasant. The texture is a bit of a shocker, though. The texture kind of takes you back. I kind of thought I knew what I was getting into when I saw this, you know, this dust here on the bottom of the tray. It certainly would be nice if it had a slightly higher moisture content to make this more like a mildly flavored cookie rather than this, you know, dusty thing. We'll see how that porridge works out, but let's get another bite. Oh, there went all the moisture. For whatever reason, when you take a bite of this, the sweetness of this mango tea just kind of disappears, and that B vitamin flavor comes back and just hits you to go along with this grainy bar. And this stuff just is not breaking down. Like, I might have to... Okay, so let's try one of these bars. I have a feeling they're both the same flavor, but they look pretty good. Oh, he's just a little guy. This is actually really good, really tasty. Sweet, but not overly sweet. Chewy like a granola bar. And as far as it being banana flavor, that's very much a background flavor. This is just like a cereal bar or a granola bar that's been sweetened, and this is actually really good. Very likely been enriched with stuff like maltodextrin, which should give you a quick shot of energy. This is pretty amazing. This is good. This guy, I'm wondering if he's the same flavor. They are both the same flavor, and that banana flavor is very much just a tiny hint of banana, which for me, that's doing it right on one of these things. I hate artificial banana. This is really good. You know, the calorie content on this ration is really high for a small package. This is good. This is very edible. I like these a lot. And now moving on to this coffee flavored granola bar with caffeine. Kind of excited about that. This guy is definitely, these are good. You know, having these in a French RCIR, these are yummy little bars. You know, I could have 100 of these sitting around the house. These are great. These really are a well thought out addition. This, if you're a coffee fan, you're going to love this. It starts out with a sweet flavor, chewy like a granola bar. The coffee flavor doesn't hit you immediately. The coffee flavor comes in about 30 or 45 seconds after you've been chewing this thing. And then you really get a powerful coffee flavor that just kind of builds in your mouth and then tastes like a really rich, sweet coffee taste. It's pretty amazing. These are great. If you ever get to have a French ration, just hope that one of these guys comes in there if you're a coffee fan. It's certainly not replacing a cup of coffee in any way, especially not in a French ration, because the French rations completely do it right with their coffee. Their coffee is hands down amazing in French rations. All right, so I'm gonna I'm going to take this off camera for a little private moment here to see if we can't get this thing to kind of smash up a little bit. That is not turning into any kind of really acceptable porridge, unfortunately. A lot of the emergency bars will make themselves, or will allow themselves to be made into, you know, a porridge with the addition of water. This just is not breaking down. Oh boy. So I guess I'm gonna have to do it because I was dumb enough to put it in here. Let's get a bite of this, I guess. Alright, here we go. Now it's just wet. I mean, no. Okay. That's my fault. I shouldn't have done that. Oh. You know, the worst part about it is that it seems like with these, there's just an ingredient missing. Like, these would be so much better if there was just a higher moisture content to bring all the contents together without turning into powder. The background flavor of this is just like a mild, bland, sweet cereal flavor. It is not unpleasant. It's just the texture. It's so dry. Like, if you were to take a bite of this and then take a big breath, you would choke on like 5,000 of these particles that would be, you know, getting sucked up into your lungs. And then we have this energy gel, which could be good, could be pretty nasty. It does look like it's apricot flavored, which would be pretty great. Or maybe not. So let's get a look at that guy, see what's coming out of here. Well, that's pretty thick. Oh, when they said gel, they weren't messing around. Look at that. That just really looks like jam. That is a fruit puree. Not overly sweet, which is pretty great. I need some more of that. That is very good. This beats the pants off of any of the US energy gels. I've had those. Maybe I'll just grab some random US MRE items and just review some of those so you guys don't have to. Because some of them I would highly just recommend not even bothering with. This, however, this is a mildly sweet fruit puree. And this is great. This is really good. I can dig that. 30 grams of just yummy fruit puree almost reminds you of just a much thicker jam. You know what? I would imagine, I'm only going to do this for you guys. It's not for me, it's for you. So just hang on for a second. Let's bring back this guy. As much as I really don't want to, I guess I owe you another bite because, well, there's a couple of bites in that cup that I really don't want to take, so we're not gonna go back down that road because I don't know, maybe it's hydrating a little bit. Oh, god damn it, just be quiet. So what I'm thinking, I don't know if they designed it this way, and there's certainly not enough of that gel to be able to put this chalky bastard down. However, I could see this being a whole lot more palatable and a lot easier to eat with some of this energy gel tagged along with it. Now, as I said, there's not enough of that energy gel to get a whole one of these bars down. I could be wrong, but I guess we should get a bite. that's the way to do it. At least you might be able to get both of these bars down with the gel. Since I've already eaten one of these things, I'm going to save myself the agony. We need to eat all that. We need all the reinforcements, all the help we can possibly get. Because that was much easier to chew that time. Even though this puree or energy gel, whatever they're claiming it is, which is really just a fruit puree, if I could talk, this makes getting this bar down much easier. You can see the powdery consistency of this thing. It doesn't even want to let the gel stick to it. But we're making that happen, because if I'm going to eat this thing, it's certainly going to need all the fruit puree it can get. The end of that, though, it's just so hard. It's like swallowing cement. I mean, wow. Just the chew, it just takes so long. God. Bigger bite, they don't help. Last bite. I mean, it's a lot easier to eat like this, but it certainly didn't get any, it lost flavor, which is hard to imagine. The flavor just kind of disappeared with adding the water. I don't quite know how that happened, but it certainly did. There are times when I'm eating things like this, I wonder, do I like myself? Or am I just doing this for the experience? I think it's for the experience, and it's entertaining to me to do stuff like this, but this, alright, we're going to call it. That's done. Well, guys, that was a French emergency pilot ration. It was very interesting. I really appreciate the really cool, excellent person in France that got this thing packed up same day that I bought it, shipped it out to me. They were really cool for sending this over. This has been a lot of fun. If you like the content, do me a favor, leave me a thumbs up, like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithms to get me more subscribers, which is always good. This was a lot of fun. I'll see you on the next one. In the meantime, eat 'em up.